Hello there, Star Wars fans, and welcome to another RebelScum.com video. And today, we are covering the 3 3/4 scale Imperial toys for the Battle of Hoth portion of content. This is my favorite portion. I love the Empire. That is my favorite faction in all of Star Wars. I've just always loved the Stormtrooper, the classic Stormtrooper design. But I've also been a big fan of the Snowtrooper design. There have been so many cool Snowtrooper figures over the years, and we're going to get right into it in this video. So for modern collectors, of course, you had your original Snowtrooper back in the day, back in the 80s, to go with your various playsets, to go with your AT-AT, to fill out the troop bay of your AT-AT, to put on your Turret and Probot playset, to put on your Imperial Attack base playset, to put on your Ice Planet Hoth playset with your cardboard AT-AT. You had lots and lots of places you could have placed your Snowtroopers back in the day. But starting with modern, of course, there's the Hoth Attack playset from Power of the Force 2. There's the Battle for Hoth playset and 30th anniversary that I mentioned in the 3 3/4 scale Rebels video. And if you haven't watched that yet, well, go ahead and click on over and watch that one too after you're done with this one. But the that one came with a Hoth ATST amongst other things. So really cool stuff. But Snowtroopers, starting with Snowtroopers for modern, it's going to start off with this one right here. We have the Power of the Force green card release of the Imperial Snowtrooper. This was the first modern Snowtrooper army builder for us collectors who started around 95, 96 collecting, who maybe got a little bit of a later start than some of the other guys. But these were some pretty good figures. They started getting away from the bulky He-Man-like, as it's commonly known among Star Wars collectors, bulky He-Man-like aesthetic of the earlier waves of Power of the Force 2, and started getting to more, not necessarily screen accurate, but screen accurate for them, kind of body shapes and body sizes for Star Wars action figures. And this was a pretty decent figure. I mean, for a 5 POA, really 4 POA figure, it wasn't too bad. And then, of course, we also got a deluxe pack with this figure over here. It's actually not even the same figure because this one's in that kind of turret-using position. He's kind of popping a squat a little bit, as you can kind of see right there on the side. And he comes with a fully assemblable E-Web cannon, similar to the one that was released in Vintage, but I think this one's just a little bit better quality than the Vintage release. Then, of course, you've got your probe droid, over there to the side of that. But moving along with Snowtroopers, we got another updated release in the Attack of the Clones blue card / 2003 Saga, which got you a figure very similar to this one. Here is the Saga Collection release of the Snowtrooper, Saga Collection 2006. Again, very similar to the 2003 release, except this one doesn't come with an E-Web like that one did. Over the years, there's also been plenty of figure packs featuring lots of Snowtroopers for you to build out your army. And the best Snowtrooper mold released in 3 3/4 scale was actually also in 2006, around the time of this one, pre-VC, as I call it, vintage style card with this awesome clamshell packaging. This figure is fully articulated, has cloth goods, and has a removable helmet. And this figure was so good, in fact, that every time a new Snowtrooper got released after this, it was just basically a re-release of this version, just with some slightly different paint or battle scuffs or what have you. So, almost every single release of a Snowtrooper after this figure for a fully articulated Snowtrooper was the same figure. Now, there was the Snowtrooper Officer release in the Black Series 3 3/4 scale Phase 1 carded packaging. That one is also fully articulated, and that is actually an officer and very different from this figure. So for your regular generic plain Snowtroopers, this is definitely the best one. And going back to that Hoth playset, that Hoth battle pack I mentioned in the 30th anniversary with the ATST and the Rebel turret, there's even repacks of that Snowtrooper in that packaging. So it got around into a few other re-releases and repacks. But moving on from Snowtroopers, well, you'll notice I don't have an AT-AT in front of me today. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't bring the AT-ATs with me. But there are a couple of different AT-ATs you could get. There's the original release back in the 80s, which was refitted a little bit for the first ever modern release back in the late 90s, 96, 97, somewhere around there, in the big green box, which had one of the first releases of the AT-AT driver. So here's the single-carded version of it, and it's the same toy that comes in the pack with the AT-AT Walker, and one of the first releases of an AT-AT Commander in 3 3/4 scale, which I have the vintage collection one right over here to the side. What was really cool about that was, just like the original vintage release, it had the same leg articulation, same body. They updated the chin guns, they updated the cheek guns, they updated the electronics on the inside, added the television screen where Vader was communicating with General Veers, which was really cool. And then we got our first really big, not quite 100% to scale, but close enough for us 3 3/4 scale collectors, what is known as the Legacy AT-AT, with all these opening panels. You can fit your 2 drivers. There's the tactical board for General Veers. There's a troop bay for all of your snow troopers. There's a speeder bike bay to deploy biker scouts on the speeder bikes. Very, very cool. And then, of course, not to mention, there is the white Hoth speeder bike, since we talked about the speeder bike rack in the AT-AT for the planet of Hoth. Between the AT-AT drivers, I would say the best one is going to be the Legacy Collection version, where he is fully articulated with a removable helmet. That one was also repacked to go with the Legacy AT-AT. Now, the next best AT-AT driver, I would say, is going to be this one right here, the Saga Collection one. Not quite fully articulated, but close enough. And if you're just going to be displaying them in an AT-AT anyway, I mean, do you really need the most articulated AT-AT driver at that point? This one is, like I said, very cool and a very good AT-AT driver. It's the next best one in the line. And then, of course, then there's this one, which is just 5 POA. Still pretty decent detail, and honestly, not horrible articulation for a 5 POA figure. It just, for sitting in an AT-AT, it's pretty much all you need. There's been various versions of the probe droids over the years, but until finally in Force Link 1.0, we got an actual, more screen accurate looking probe droid, which is this one right here. It comes with this Darth Vader right here. Up until then, when we got this one in the 90s, they've pretty much all been this probe droid, some of them with various coats of paint. And, I mean, Kenner kind of nailed it on that one. It's not a bad probe droid. And lastly, for your arsenal attacking the Rebel Alliance, you're going to need some AT-STs to support your AT-ATs. The AT-STs, there are Hoth versions of the fully articulated Legacy AT-ST. That one was released in the blue Clone Wars packaging, just like the first release of what's called the Legacy AT-ST. There's also some other battle packs to support these with multiple troops and things, including, in case you misplaced that awesome Hoth speeder bike I mentioned earlier that comes with your AT-ST, there's a battle pack called Speeder Bike Patrol, I believe, or Hoth Recon or something like that. And it comes with 2 Hoth speeder bikes and 2 Hoth or Snow biker scouts, which are different from your regular biker scouts. They have thermal gear, much like how there's a difference between Snowspeeder Luke and X-Wing Luke. It's very similar. They're just heavier suits with thermal lining, and they look pretty cool. But you're going to need these to support. Your first release for Modern is going to be in that 95, 96 packaging on the red box Power of the Force 2 packaging. Of course, that's not the most screen accurate looking AT-ST. This one is going to be the best one you could possibly get in its various painted editions. Like I said, the specific Hoth one was released in that blue Clone Wars packaging around the time of Legacy, and it is fully articulated just like this one is. The windows do open up, and it's really, really awesome. So for those of you building out your Imperial portion of your Hoth diorama, or just trying to do the Imperial invasion, there are lots and lots of awesome troopers to get. And like I said, there's some that are better than others, but luckily with the Empire, it's a little bit easier to collect for your Hoth diorama than it is with the Rebels, since there's so many different faces to collect with the Rebels. So there you go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. What is your favorite piece from the Imperial invasion of Hoth. Is it the AT-ATs? I know a lot of people. It's the AT-AT. That's my favorite part. My favorite piece is going to be that big Legacy AT-AT. That is my absolute favorite Walker toy of all time. Hasbro really, really nailed it when they released that toy. But what's yours? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the forums. Talk about it and get back to us on what your favorite is. What's your favorite Snowtrooper toy? Is it this one? Is it the Power of the Force 2 one? I don't judge. It's fine if it's the Power of the Force 2 one. I still like the Power of the Force 2 toys in some regards, especially when it comes to building dioramas and army building. I like to have various troopers. I don't like them to all look exactly the same, even though that's kind of the point of uniform military. I don't like all of my troopers to look the same. So I like, when I build out those dioramas, I like having the Power of the Force 2 mold and the Saga Collection mold and the fully articulated Saga or Legacy release standing right next to it. That way it doesn't look like I'm just buying the same figure over and over again. And that's kind of how it's nice to spread out when you're building those dioramas. If you want to army build without buying the same action figure over and over again, well, start searching for those variant releases where you have your standing Power of the Force 2 release, your squatting using the turret Power of the Force 2 release, your Saga Collection release, your carded Saga, your Clamshell Saga Collection release, your Vintage Collection 3-pack release version of that, your Legacy release, what have you. There are so many different ways to army build without buying the same figure over and over again, and luckily there's plenty of versions of these characters from over the years to do so, and I'm sure there's more coming. Like I said, stay tuned for more. Give us that feedback, like I said, and follow us on social media. Check rebelscum.com daily, like and subscribe, and go to rebelscumshop.com for exclusive merch. That's it for today, guys, so we'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. May the Force be with all of you, you Rebel Scum.